You are a loser, and nothing in your life goes the right way. Every time you fall in love, the other person sadly doesn't think the same of you. Everyone makes fun of you for your silly haircut and wearing a dumb hat. Then your name might be you won, or your life is really just like that, which would suck, so I hope your life isn't that way. But that's basically the life of the main protagonist of Gitaroo Man, and yes, his name is really You Won. Weird name, isn't it? With a name like that, you really can't go too far in life, or can you? Because actually in the Japanese version, his name is Yuichi, and if you watch enough anime like me, you know Ichi in Japanese means one. So if you say the first part of his name, which is Yu, it sounds like you, and now if you say one instead of Ichi, you get You One. So he kinda has an actual name, and the way the game calls him is just a silly pun. He is not related to you too. Luckily, there's also a solution to your life being sucky. Buy a guitar and play some Wonderwall on it, or some cooler songs. Even though I still love Wonderwall, even if it may become a meme. Oasis were one of the better things that came out of Britain, like Free Radical, that made one of my favorite multiplayer shooters ever with Time Splitters 2. But we all know that learning an instrument takes a lot of time and practice, but you can also just give a lot of the practice when you got the best guitar teacher you will ever find who will instantly teach you how to perfectly play the guitar, your dog. If you don't have a dog, well, maybe your cat can do the same, or a hamster or a bird or whatever kind of cute animal you got as your little companion. But you also have to hope your pet is some kind of animal that came from a completely different planet and can turn into a robot version of itself, which looks like a boombox, even though he looks more like a graphics card to me nowadays. He also got cute faces on his paws, even though 3 of those make a dead face while one of them smiles. You also gotta hope that he can turn your tennis racket into a cool guitar that you can use to damage your enemies with. Why? Because you're obviously gonna get attacked by another planet now for your mystical guitar playing skills, since you're actually the legendary Gitaroo Man, since his blood runs through your veins since you're part of this legendary family tree, which makes you wonder who your parents are, which you never see in the game. I hope he still has them. The whole plot of the game is just kinda dumb like that, but there's just something so heartfelt about it. It's a pretty average story about how a typical loser suddenly gets the chance to be a hero and become what he always wanted to be, a person full of confidence. Isn't that what we all want? Or maybe you already got that confidence and I'm proud of you for getting it, good job. Maybe you can share some with me or we can build it up together. Stories like these just speak to me when they're done in such a cute way. Gitaroo Man is a rhythm game, no shit, right? A fairly simple one at that. Just follow the green line with the analog stick and keep it on the line when it moves around, and then press the O button or keep it pressed for longer notes. But there's phases where you get attacked, where you gotta press the face buttons when they get into the middle of the screen. That's all. I mean, there's stuff like charging where you regain some health and all that, but it's not like it matters since you fill it up by hitting the notes and damage the enemies also by hitting the notes, so all you gotta do is just hit the notes. There's nothing else, just hit the notes. You don't want to miss the notes though, because otherwise your guitar stops working and the songs are only half as good if you mess up too much and can't hear the guitar in the songs. After the kinda drawn out tutorial, the game throws you into the game with one of its coolest songs and stages already, because there's just so much stuff happening. And those two things are also the greatest thing about Gitaroo Man. It's aesthetic and music. I mean, a rhythm game would suck if the music sucks, right? Who would want to play songs that are not enjoyable? But first, let's talk about how the game looks, because it reminds me of the time where you could get a PlayStation console and get tons of random cool looking Japanese games that were full of creativity and color, unlike now. And this isn't gonna be a rant about how games nowadays suck or anything like that, because they don't. There's still great games being made today and in the future, probably. But I think people who grew up during this era of consoles can relate to it, at least a little bit. It's colorful, it's crazy, it's quirky and just has that special soul you can feel, even if the games themselves weren't the greatest. They just made you feel warm inside. Games that the people behind them believed in and really wanted to make them. Or you can just call me a boomer and tell me I'm blinded by nostalgia. Games like Gitaroo Man, Tulip, Okage, Chibi Warbo, I know that's on the GameCube and not on the PS2, but still, are just not really made anymore, with a few exceptions here and there, because it's impossible in a way. Sure, there's always some outliners like Bomb Rush, Cyberpunk or 24 Killers, where the people behind them truly understand what made those games so special and take it and put their own spin onto it, but for the most part it will never feel as original and soulful as the game they got inspired from. Many of those games just can't capture the same feeling and fall flat because they miss the actual vision behind them, but that's a topic for a different day. So, do I even would want someone trying to make their own Gitaroo Man inspired game? Sure, why not? If people want to create things, then they should create them. Just because I would think they can't even reach up to even the original game's toes, doesn't mean people shouldn't try. My opinion means nothing really, and you should always judge things by yourself in the end, and not by some YouTube video. Out of the 10 stages, there's only 2 that I do not really like, and they're straight after each other, and both involve a shark. And normally I like sharks, but this shark is dumb, even though I lied a bit. I do like this stage for its gameplay, because you're only on the defense and have to hit the buttons without any long notes, and that's fun, but the song is just not something I enjoy listening to. I know it's supposed to be hectic since you're getting chased, but still, that's life though. Some people will love the song probably, since our taste can be pretty different. And right after the shark turns into a mecha, but fear not, you get one too, and yours looks dumb as hell. Here I do not like the song either, and it's even worse because it has many long notes and some stretches throughout the stage where you don't have to press anything. It's just so slow and boring, like watching a snail move around. That's cute at least, so I think I would rather do that. So I don't have to listen to you one telling me how tired he is. And it just goes on and on and on for 5 minutes. It's basically the longest stage in the game. Again, you could maybe love these stages while I don't like them. Maybe you won't like some of the ones I love and vice versa. That's also one of the beauties of the game. Every stage is a new musical genre pretty much, so it always makes you look forward to what's next music-wise, so you get the double surprise of a new cool track and a cool new location, because you go through space and all that, like we have already seen, even a prison. And aside from the 2 stages I talked about, I love all of them. There's funk and soul, Japanese pop, some good old power metal, everything you could kinda ask for that usually has guitars in its music, paired with the look of something out of a kid's sketchbook where the kiddo just draws some wild stuff that's on its mind. That's what the style of it always reminded me of. If you look at Mitsuru's Nakamura's art, it just seems so simple, the kind of art that makes you think you could do it too, even though you couldn't. It looks easy, but it's not easy, trust me. And maybe you should pick up a pen though. Go pick up drawing as a hobby, if you want to. So that's all the game is. You play guitar against UFOs, skeletons, cute girls and a bunch more, and try to save the planet Gitaroo and even get an ultimate form that I never quite liked. And I'm normally a fan of spiky anime hair from the early 2000s like Yugi. But this design is just dumb. I hope U1 won't look like that when he becomes an adult. I mean, you could say his normal Gitaroo Man outfit is a bit dumb looking too, but it looks dumb in a fun way, not a dumb way. I always think he wears a diaper in it. I don't know why. Maybe because he's a teenage boy but still acts like a little baby before he really finds himself. I also always like to imagine the stuff in the game didn't actually happen, but U1 just dreamed about this and thought, hey, enough is enough. I finally will use my willpower to change. Because why else would the evil guy look like his bully and the love interest looks just like the girl that he has a crush on? All of these things that happen being real kinda undermines the point of the game that even a loser can become cool, as long as you were the chosen one. Especially since the game tells you that it's your turn now to change. Sorry game, but I don't think I have any special blood running through my veins that can transform me into a different form so I can tank up all of that confidence. One of those rare games I even own twice, not rare because it's a rare game, but rare because I normally don't buy my games double, unless it's Odin Spear. Or Gitaroo Man. There's a version on the PlayStation 2 and the PSP version, it's the only PSP game I ever owned so far, that is pretty much almost the same but added a duet mode so you can play with a friend, and that mode has 2 exclusive new songs. A weird thing is that though that the track Flying to Your Heart is the English version on the PSP instead of being the Japanese version. There's a European demo disc of the PlayStation 2 version, and in that demo you play the stage the song plays on and it's English, but in the final version it's Japanese. I love both versions, but it's a bit weird how they just mix it around. It also got a demo version in Japan with the same stage and exclusive cutscenes and a little minigame. And that's all I can really say about the game. I could go through every stage by itself and explain it, but what's the fun in that? Go play them by yourself and experience them the best way possible, putting headphones on and hearing them while trying not to die in the game, because you may haven't played many rhythm games before, like me, but the difficulty is quite decent. It's not a total pushover, and towards the end it does get fairly hard even on normal, but hey, maybe you are natural at it and easily beat it so you can get your ass kicked on the master difficulty you unlock after beating it. Mojo King B just destroys me every single time I try him on there. I blame the input delay of emulators, totally not me being bad. The game just has such a special place in my heart ever since I first played it. I even uploaded the legendary theme on YouTube as one of the first videos I uploaded on this channel, if we ignore all the old let's plays I did that are on private nowadays, or some of the other video game music. I had a YouTube channel before this one once, but I uploaded pop punk lyrics videos on there and they struck them down, and some really sick Tony Hawk combos or Mabinogi videos. Now it's all lost media, how the kids like to call it nowadays. With that said, I hope you enjoyed the video and will have a good day, and good night or whatever fits your time zone. And maybe I made you want to play the game, and maybe it can give you the little push you always needed to become a more confident person. All I can say is that it didn't help me, so I feel like a failure. But I'm sure it will help you. Bye bye.